You're going to love this. Trust me, what you're seeing now is my normal state. This is a Super Saiyan. And this is what is known as a Super Saiyan that has ascended past a Super Saiyan. Or, you could just call this a Super Saiyan 2.
Wilhelm, what a useless transformation. You've changed your hair, so what?
Just wait.
Has he really found a way to surpass an Ascended Saiyan? Is that possible?
He must be bluffing. I mean, what would that make him? Double Ascended?
And this
What's he doing?
is to go even further beyond!
No, stop it, Goku! If you do this now, it's going to drain away all the time you have left on Earth. And I'd say you need every second of it as it is.
It's unreal. How is he generating that much power?
Do it, Dad!
Too much!
Stop it! Stop it now, Goku!
Anyway, memes aside, hey guys, it's Mather here once again. This is the new skill that GGG gave us this league, Thunderstorm, with the new support gem, Wind Burst, I think. I don't know. It's so infrequently used, I forget the names of these things. I feel like I am the first person to have ever used these skills this league, and they are fucking insane. So first of all, what this character is basically just a very basic bow build that has some proj speed scaling, and yeah, nothing too crazy aside from that. Now, the skill itself to begin with is Thunderburst, where you shoot out some sort of little AoE thing. You have to stand in it to charge up the burst, and then once you leave the circle, a bunch of AoE tornadoes happen. Once you attach Wind Burst to the gem as well, you start to shit out these other forms of tornadoes, thus having two different types of tornadoes. Some people are using Wind Burst in regular builds because you can use it apparently on anything, doesn't have to be a bow skill right now. I don't know if that's intentional, but I've yet to see anyone really do anything with Thunderstorm for some reason, and it became pretty apparent to me that this thing can be very crazy just by putting it on a test character and trying a little bit of proj speed. I went, yep, this thing can be pretty damn insane, and from level 31 onwards, this is one of the funnest skills you will be leveling. Once you get to level 40, you can put on a Fury Valve, and that means that your tornadoes will start to split from every single enemy they hit, and basically, you don't cop any sort of penalty to arrows or anything. Instead, you just gain all this split. You don't have to use a Fury Valve because you can just have a sniper's mark on a single target that will do the same kind of thing, but for clear, it'll be kind of nice to have a Fury Valve. And yeah, things just start to get really crazy from then there onwards. It's not even that PC intensive. Like, I've played several setups here or there, even recently, that just like really tank my frames. On this one, for most content, for most just mapping and stuff, it actually seems to just keep my frames at a pretty consistent, like, you know, flat 90 or whatever the fuck I've set it to. So it's not actually that bad on frames. Granted, it is very horrible on bitrate for PoE streaming, and also just general visibility. You are not going to be able to see many ground effects or things like that. And as you know, bow characters can be a bit squished, but I think you can definitely build some pretty decent bow characters with this setup. So like I said, there's nothing particularly special happening here. All that's really happening is I'm going out of my way to get as much proj speed as possible, but even from level 30 or 40 onwards with some decent proj speed, this starts to feel completely insane. You can get some duration scaling as well, because this essentially ends up being similar to Spark in that you want lots of little bounces and things just start to get pretty hectic from there. So I've chosen to do this character as just a regular tri-ele bow because the tree can currently print out some pretty crazy bows, but I think, yeah, this can be just anything. I could have done, like, let's say a Voltaxic setup, a Ice Bite cold setup. You could do pretty much anything. Pure Fizz into some conversions, you know, fire setups, whatever a bow setup can be, I think Thunderstorm can do some pretty good things with. I've yet to take it to full-blown endgame for like pure single target, but as you can see, it can definitely do Guardians and stuff, and that's still with a pretty suboptimal setup because for most of this character's journey, I've just been struggling to kind of like make decisions onto certain gear pieces and stuff, and also links on the character itself, on the Thunderstorm itself, sorry. So yeah, I've still got a very suboptimal character here, and I'm still in the process of making it, but I definitely wanted to already get something out there to show you guys how silly this skill can be and just how much fun you can have using some skill that everyone wrote off almost immediately without even trying. And yeah, that maybe just says it all, but I do encourage you to try some of these things out in the game and to see, you know, what you can come up with on your own before just plain old simply writing things off. You can see it gets very hectic during smaller arenas. It's a great ritual farmer. Like I said though, you just got to have at least some level of tankiness. And I do imagine that everyone's going to be wanting to play this with Asenath's hat, because as you just teleport around with your lightning warp, it triggers the skill much more comfortably than having to run in and out of it. But that's how I've chosen to kind of end up playing it, just a more vanilla playstyle. But yeah, I'll show off a full setup and basically how you can do it with eliminating the jank and the downside and just getting something going here. So as you can see, small arenas, pretty damn good. And as it turns out, most things in this game are definitely small arenas. So I don't know what to say. This thing has just been absolutely crazy. I think it's been a lot of fun. I've put a lot of hours into getting this up and running already because it's just so much fun to log in and play with. And let me go ahead and show you my setup so far and how you can get a cooler setup going too. So here's my character, currently level 93, It That Killed Bitrate. Now, it was pretty apparent as soon as I tested it on some other character, just the level 1 skill with a few, you know, supports and stuff, this thing was going to be pretty insane and kill bitrate. So obviously that's where the name came from. And I thought, what if we just scaled everything we possibly could for like some proj speed and you know, additional arrows and stuff like that. And yeah, the result I'm pretty damn pleased with. Like I said, a lot of fun, this skill, and it basically, you can start using this thing at level 28. It's okay at that point. Once you incorporate the wind burst as well at level 31, it gets really fun. And then once you get the fury valve on at level 40, it becomes pretty damn something else. Now, the way I'm playing it and the way you can see it played, as I mentioned, is there's a Thunderstorm, you have to charge it up, you leave, and then it does that. It's a little bit weird, it's a little bit of something to get used to, and it's not going to be for everyone. You can basically eliminate that entire portion of weirdness with Lightning Warp or Frostblink of Wintry Blast, and an Asenath's setup kind of like this. So all you do is end up just blinking in and out, and you basically don't have to interact with that mechanic whatsoever. You'll have to fix mana just a little bit more, and you'll have to, you know, balance your character a bit more around this type of shit. But it becomes a very smooth playstyle, so if you'd rather do it that way, you absolutely can. I played it that way for like, I don't know, from level, let's say 50 to maybe level 80, and then I thought it's probably best I just make a very vanilla version of the bow character for myself and get used to the playstyle. And it does take a little bit getting used to because you have to like kind of stutter step and stuff, but it's very doable. And one of the good things about this thing that isn't, I don't think, obvious or even shown on the skill is that, as you can see, it gains Thunderstorm every 0.25 up to a maximum of 4, and then once you leave it does that. So you would think you have to stand in it for a second, and that's why it's kind of whatever. But it scales off of attack speed, and as you can see, without any buffs or anything right now, it takes every 0.14 seconds on mine, so it's pretty damn quick to actually charge to full and then leave. If you've got like really good attack speed, which during my buffs and stuff I have, it ends up being something like 0.1, so it takes you less than half a second to actually charge this thing up, and it's really not that uncomfortable compared to what you might initially think. So I don't think it's based around the base attack speed on the weapon, it's just your overall like percent increased attack speed. You'll see that if you put on like at Will Rain, for example, or if you put in the faster attacks gem, like all of a sudden it's down to 0.1. So it becomes pretty quick that way. Now, the other important thing about this is the Thunderburst itself has 7 projectiles to begin with, which does scale with quality. So you could go some quality scaling for a lot more proj if you want, and end up eliminating things like GMP. I'm currently using that, but I don't know if it's correct, because I doubt we need those extra proj. But overall, you can get additional proj basically through quality scaling, which can be a pretty damn thick way of doing this thing. Through this node over here, attacks fire additional proj. Over here, we've got additional proj. And that's pretty much it, because it does not scale off of additional arrows. It's not technically an arrow what's happening afterwards. And fuck all that, what I just said. As I was doing that, I was testing, and for the first time, I've actually looked closer at this thing. It's not working at all. So I've been playing this thing wrong the entire time, and it's still been pretty damn fun. It seems like GMP, skills fight, additional proj, additional attack, all this shit does nothing for this, and we are not gaining any projectiles. So we have 7 base projectiles attached to Thunderburst and Thunderstorm, as it says there, and we are not scaling that whatsoever with projectiles, it seems, because after just testing it out with like everything out there, it still attaches. It's doing less damage thanks to the support, but it's not adding any projectiles whatsoever. So I have been playing a pretty shit nerfed version of the build this entire time, and it's yeah, still been pretty good, obviously, as I was saying. Well, that is that's interesting. So yeah, so the 2 additional proj I'm pretty sure is not working. I don't think any of this shit is working unless I've once again fucked something up, but it looks exactly the same, and it does not seem to be attaching anything. That said, the additional proj is still kind of comfy for having the ensnaring and the frenzy going off, but otherwise, yeah, it does seem like it's not doing a whole lot, and we need to be removing it and building a little bit differently. So that is kind of unfortunate. But anyway, at least we learned some shit, hopefully, and I'll be, trying more stuff out soon. All that aside, does not matter. So what we've got here is a tri-alley bow, just grabbed an essence fracture and spammed with some other essence stuff and landed something. You'll be able to buy these en masse. You'll be able to do whatever kind of build you want. Does not really matter. Just trying to get proj speed on a bow as well as some other stuff. So picked up a quiver that also has a proj speed base with proj speed as a suffix. And that's pretty much it. The rest of the gear, can be as vanilla as you want it to be. You can have an Asenath. You can go for cap suppress and life and evasion. I am using abhorrent interrogation at the moment for the wither and the elemental portion of it, but I'm not sure it's really that good because I don't know if we proper overlap like our hits that often onto enemies, since I feel like there's a bit of a cooldown window between certain attacks on them. So I'll be doing some testing for various bosses and stuff with these on and off, but currently I'm going with these because I think they could be good, but I'm not sure they actually are. Aside from that, what else we got? Just basic gear. Got a ring with lots of dexterity, so I could end up wearing the chest and also tattooing a lot of my dexterity into proj speed. So the chest is just a hunter chest that I grabbed a syndicate garb and then spammed caster stuff onto. Ended up getting a pretty good roll for crit as well. And an Ellie weakness on hit ring with currently I am stealing, what do we got? Oath of Summer from Warden, which gives us Scorch. though you can do, you know, pretty much anything. I'm running large cluster jewels that just do some stuff. I don't think arcing shot's going to be working either as far as this arrows thing is concerned, because we're not really firing arrows with our thunderburst thing. But the important thing is the medium clusters that let us get streamlined and aerodynamics. So with the bow node over here, for proj speed to damage with bows, we get a lot of extra damage from our proj speed. As you can see over here, if we click Thunderstorm, my current proj speed is 644. So right from level 28, I chucked on, or from level 31, let's say, I chucked on Wind Burst, Thunderstorm. I put on faster proj and also more duration support, and that's what really let me take off with the build. Obviously, this shit wasn't doing anything except for just, you know, nerfing myself, so whoops. Aside from that, what else? I'm now using a Foulborn Unnatural Instinct over here to basically collect everything, but I was using a Might of the Meek and doubling all these proj speed nodes. So early on, that helped me get a lot of proj speed. Otherwise, yeah, I don't know what the fuck we're doing here anymore. Maybe Deadeye's wrong. If you take more duration over here, it will make your lightning warp feel a little bit worse, so bear that in mind, but it can still be a nice playstyle. But you don't really need that proj duration, I don't think. It's, you know, kind of a luxury, but currently I am doing it. Pathing through to get that, I'm using a life gain on hit, Watcher's Eye for vitality. It keeps me alive a decent little bit, and then also Feast of Flesh over here for a bit more life gain on hit, and also crit. Not crit, sorry, leech. Otherwise, yeah, we've got a ensnaring arrow and frenzy attached to Maniforged arrows that also gives me power charge on crit, and is from life tap. I'm using a haste, a grace, and a precision at the moment. I was using Herald of Ice and Herald of Ash for leveling, so if you'd rather incorporate some heralds, you can certainly do that. And then so far, that's pretty much it. Still building the character, still learning shit, even as I'm making this video. Obviously, I'm pretty bad, so there it is. I'm trying my best to make it somewhat of a well-rounded character as a bow character with, you know, good evasion and suppress and stuff, so I can take on things like Simulacrum. Should be pretty fun. Hopefully this was a cool video so far. At least this is, you know, what I've got, what I've learned, and how fun Thunderstorm has been. Take it, use it for other characters. It does not have to be a Deadeye, obviously. It does not have to be built in any certain fashion. This is just what I've got so far, and I think it can be pretty damn versatile. Should be a lot of fun to build many different setups around it. With that, thank you very much for watching. See you next time.